Anthroposophy as a spiritual science. Like all sciences, all arts, all religions, all worldviews are first taken in as thoughts. Say that we have Bible here and we read Bible and we realize that we get life advices from Jesus. What would Jesus do? You know, the saying. And now we meet a person who annoys us. Okay, we can now use the thoughts we learned from Bible and say, what would Jesus do? Anthroposophy in the 21st century is a journey through which we learn to transform head-based knowledge through 4 steps into a living reality when knowledge, wisdom itself, begins to live in us, as us. So, Anthroposophy as thoughts can be transformed into Anthroposophia, the wisdom through human. A living wisdom that works in us and through us and begins to live as the real being herself. The first form we take anthroposophical spiritual science, and any science, any religion, or any worldview is head-based knowledge. We read Bible, okay, Jesus did that, and then all the disciples did that, and we developed this kind of thought system. The same way we do when we read any science, mathematical truths, or Bhagavad Gita, ding, ding, ding. Okay, now I know what Krishna said to Arjuna, and then when we meet the person who annoys us in the world, we can use these thoughts to interpret how to, for example, react, how to judge the situation. Okay, the annoying person comes and I say, wait a minute, let me read from Bible what Jesus do. And then use this knowledge and make my move. This way we also take in Anthroposophy in the beginning. And the first transformation of Anthroposophy is to learn to not to get stuck in these thoughts, but to become active in our thinking. Which basically means that when we read any thought from Steiner or Ben Aaron, we can learn to reproduce those thoughts in our own thinking. For example, speaking them out loud, and learn to find that kind of activity of thought that moves from one thought to the other, so that thinking is not stuck with these thoughts as words, but can begin to move, begin to see the thought of spiritual science in many angles, from many aspects at the same time, and at some point arrive to the place that you awaken in thinking that is sense free. It doesn't need any pictures, but it's pure understanding, and this one can experience. Another transformation of Anthroposophy occurs when we learn to experience and feel anthroposophical thoughts and other contents in our experiences, in our hearts, so that when we read or when we do exercises, we begin to develop this inner sensitivity. Like, when you meet another person and you get these little subtle feelings that, there is something off or something on. And you learn to carry those experiences, nurture them, not as final truths, but as a beginning point of an inner activity, and learn to listen through feelings and get, for example, the idea, can I ask the person, what can I do for you? Is there something? Like there's always something that works in our feeling lives, but we are sleeping there. Anthroposophy aims to bring those feeling experience, inner experiences alive, so that we learn to actually feel properly. The third transformation is when we let the inner activity of thought and the sensitivity of feelings and experiences to work all the way through our body, into our will, into our deeds and perceptions. This I call that anthroposophy becomes a verb. So we begin to anthroposophize. We move in the world, we see around us, we listen the world around us, and we find this attitude of opening in wonder into the mysteries of, say, nature, and begin to see that, wait a minute, through my sense perceptions and through my thinking, feeling, bodily being, I can connect with nature in such a way that I realize that this physical world is not the only world that exists, but beyond and above and even at the center of the physical appearances, there is another invisible world of essences. Let's say that if people believe in soul or spirit, that as if we could say that the other person has the invisible soul, all beings, all objects of our world has also something invisible which we can unfold if we anthroposophize. Think about a new relation opening the wondrous mysteries of everything. That's when anthroposophy becomes a verb. And the culmination of that is that when we apply this living verbing of anthroposophy in our meeting with another human being. Because then, if we take that time, strive and succeed in meeting the other person as this invisible essence, we realize that we are living among spiritual beings, and that the other person is also awakening us into our own true being. When we begin to do the work with human meetings this way, we learn to carry each other in our hearts, because in those meetings, when the spiritual being of the other reveals herself to us and reveals us to us, we can realize that we are part of one humanity. And those meetings enrich our perspective in existential way. And if we are lucky, we find communities or groups or partners to carry each other. And then the last transformation of Anthroposophy occurs. That we begin to experience that there is not only the other person's individual true being, but there is a true being of the whole humanity. Our inner life is then enriched by Anthroposophia, who is being born when we carry each other, and we begin to carry the inner life of whole humanity, or we can say the soul, the universal soul of humanity. She is Anthroposophia, and giving her space to be born in us, that we are begin to really live as one humanity and one earth. This is the aim of Anthroposophy in the 21st century.